Hey, Joe, right before we start the presentations, I do want to
We're,
say one thing.
we're live, guys.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another working meeting of the City Council. So just in case this is your first one, what you're going to basically just be watching is the City Council conducting its business, hearing our discussions. We're going to have some presentations from some vendors. This meeting is kind of a continuation of the one we had last week when we were talking about getting the beach set up for the summer, and we had a presentation last week from a vendor that we're looking at for electronic beach passes. And tonight we're going to hear from some more vendors about that. So tonight's meeting is basically going to be pretty much entirely about the beach, with the exception of one quick thing from Mr. McNally. And where'd he go? Did he? Oh, there you are. You moved to the middle of the screen. He's got an update on some COVID vaccine information.
Donna, did you want to say something first, or do you want to go after me?
After.
Okay. So we just asked from a couple of the council members, since there's been really a flurry of changes as of late about COVID vaccination availability, to give an update as to where and how folks can, sign up to get an appointment for a vaccine. So first and foremost, there's a New York State website and a hotline. The website is COVID-19 vaccine.health.ny.gov. Phone number is 1-833-697-4829. And the closest locations to Long Beach are Jones Beach and Aqueduct, although one opened up this week in, it's SUNY Old Westbury. And we do expect Nassau County to come online shortly with Nassau Coliseum. So speaking about Nassau County, you can actually pre-register, so you don't have to go through the whole process of dialing and seeing whether there's availability or not. Real quick with Aqueduct and Jones Beach, there are currently appointments available, at least as of when I checked at 4:30 today. There were appointments available at Jones Beach, but not Aqueduct. But that changes daily. So, if you sit there and refresh the website all day long, you will get different answers all day long. But people are absolutely getting through. So Nassau County, you can pre-register. It might be for a couple months out, but it at least gets you set. And you know that you have an appointment and you don't need to keep refreshing or keep calling. That website is vaccine.nassaucountiny.gov. And they just stepped up a hotline for seniors effective, I believe, today. For seniors that need help trying to get an appointment, they can call 516-227-9590. That's 516-227-9590. It's open Monday through Sunday, so 7 days a week, 9 a.m. through 4:45 p.m. And just locally, Walgreens has had appointments available for the past few weeks. CVS just came online, starting making appointments this past weekend. So go to cvs.com or walgreens.com. And, just so folks know, we don't have any special ins. But if you call the city manager's office, which is 705-7202, again, we have no better ins than any of these, and you will likely have more success via these. But if you're really having a problem, and if you are eligible, give us a call. We'll take your basic information, and if something churns up or we get alerted to something, we'll reach back out to you, because we want to be able to help to the degree that we can. The one other caveat that we'll say for all this information is CVS and Walgreens are, so Nassau County and New York State are anybody that is currently eligible, depending on what the guidelines are at any point in time, or the eligibility is at any point in time for the entire state. Nassau County and New York State sites are doing that. CVS and Walgreens are just 60 plus and teachers right now. So that's an important distinction that allows them to not have to worry about HIPAA violations, is my understanding. So you don't have to hand over, here's one of my comorbidities or why I qualify for other reasons, because I don't believe those pharmacies want to be in the business of having to make those determinations. So they are just 60 plus. and teachers. But the rest of them are open for anybody that is currently eligible. And as we all know, that changes weekly at this stage of the game. So that's what I got.
John?
Yes.
This is Liz. If you're going to post this anywhere, can you just
We-
specify on the pharmacy part, just put an asterisk that they should check the eligibility, so we don't see a line outside of CVS?
Yeah, I mean, everything, Liz, is by appointment only, so you can't call our local CVS or Walgreens to make an appointment. You need to go through the national website, which says here's our, and then it goes to here's the eligibility. Here's where appointments are available. And you're going to run into the same things that you do at the state sites and the county sites of there's not currently any eligible appointments, that same frustration factor weeks in, but we are seeing this stuff start to open up. As I said at our council meeting, we had, the state got delivered 1 million vaccines compared to, a max of 400,000 per week. Starting 2 weeks ago, this time I think this past week, there was, 500,000 or something along those lines. So availability is opening up. And people are having a lot more success. And really, even at the state sites, it might not be an appointment, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but you're at least able to make appointments at this stage of the game just about any time you log on. So light at the end of the tunnel.
And it would be great, John, if the local papers would carry this as well for people in any kind of area that we can distribute as well, because I know I've gotten some questions as well. So I'm trying to reach out to many people so they will know how to go about doing this, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, and we'll get it up on the website and we'll do the outreach to our local media as well. Thank you.
Okay, and Donna?
Okay, I just wanted to let everybody know we have 2 additional companies on to give presentations. Typically, we do not have the companies come on where both companies are on at the same time. However, we have received their presentation. So they cannot take anything from what they possibly heard on Tuesday, and can't take anything from someone else's presentation because we have copies of them. And so I just wanted to make that clear that we typically do not have both on at the same time to present, but tonight we do. Just to let everybody know, Ina will come on and our goal is 7:30.
Oh, okay.
All
Your
right.
lips to God's ears.
That's the over under, huh?
Yeah, over under 7:30.
Okay.
And remember, Ina has the longest piece.
I'm going with the over.
You're smart,
All right.
man,
Go ahead,
in a
Joe.
short time.
All right. Well, I'm prepared just in case.
All right, I'll start. As John Bendo just outlined and Donna just reiterated, the agenda is short, but there's a lot of information. I'm not going to bog anybody down with long intros. I just want to kind of pick up from last Thursday's work session where we heard from the committee's preferred vendor. After further discussion on Thursday and subsequent to that meeting, it was the opinion that perhaps we should offer the same opportunity to 2 other vendors who had made presentations to the Electronic Beach Pass Committee. After those presentations, as Donna outlined, we will hear from Ina to pick up the beach park revenue piece that was tabled at the end of the 2 hours on last Thursday evening. So without any further ado, I'm going to allow the vendors to make their presentations. I don't know if there's a Robert's Rules of Etiquette as far as selecting one over the other. I can only go by hockey tradition, and hockey dictates that he who travels the farthest gets to go first. We have 2 companies presenting tonight, Beach ePass, which is out of Long Beach, New York, and My Beach Tags, based out of Haddonfield, New Jersey. So if it's all right with everybody else here, I'd allow the group, My Beach Tags from New Jersey to kick off, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good to us.
Thank you.
Hi, we are My Beach Tags. Thank you for the nice and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present tonight. If you could give us some sharing capability, Kevin's going to share his screen with us.
Already done. There we
All
go.
right, thank you. So we'd like to just take a minute first to introduce the team we've brought with us tonight. So Kevin, click us forward, please. Thank you. We have Michael. He is the brains behind our operation. He came up with the idea of a digital beach tag app. We have Kevin. He's our tech whiz. He had a lot of input into the development of the app. And me, my name is Carolina. I'm the resident beach bum. I also forget my beach tag every time I go to the beach. So this digital beach pass would be revolutionary for my life. We all vacation in South Jersey at beaches that require beach passes, and down there we do call them beach tags, so I may interchange the two phrases, but we are intimately familiar with beach passes and their pitfalls, so we have thoughtfully designed this app to overcome those and to just improve the overall beach pass experience. So what is My Beach Tags? It's a proprietary app. It allows users to purchase and use beach passes directly from a mobile device, completely digitally, no physical passes needed. The passes are convenient, safe, environmentally friendly, and our app just basically simplifies the beach pass purchasing process, making it easier for beachgoers and municipalities. So we feel like we really meet Long Beach's needs. We are free. We have customizable features. We have offline accessibility, so you can access a purchase pass without internet. We are full digital. We have a patent pending sharing feature, and we are fully contactless. We feel that we're pioneers for a new era. Obviously, COVID has ushered in a need for innovative technology, specifically technology that allows people to do business apart from each other. So we feel that My Beach Tags and Long Beach are on the cutting edge of a changing world because we both see the need for this technology. And like Uber, Venmo, Airbnb, we've taken an outdated process and we've modernized it innovatively. So here you can see a little bit of how the app works. So when you download the app and go to purchase a pass, you would choose the beach that you're purchasing for. And the first thing you would do is you'd choose your pass type. Now we can facilitate the purchasing of physical passes through the app, but if you're buying a digital pass, you would choose digital pass, which would be then a QR code. You would then choose your tag type. The typical selections are daily, weekly, or seasonal, but those are customizable with for whatever the municipality wants. And then you'd set your date range. You'd then choose the number of passes you're purchasing and confirm your choices. Once those are confirmed, you would be taken to the payment page where all of your choices are again there for you to see, and you see the price. So we use Stripe as our third payment processing API. So it's a very reputable and widely used third-party payment processor. And you would see your price there. So you would pay, oops, sorry, go back there a bit, Kevin.
Sorry about that. I went the wrong way. I'm trying to play that. Sorry.
So you see that, that's okay. Your price for the passes is $2.50. The fee that My Beach Tags charges for processing is 62 cents on that price. And then your total. You would then choose your payment option, either a credit card that you've already saved into your account, or you can add a new credit card at that point. And once your payment is processed, you have access to your digital beach tag. And you can see there in our video that it is animated. So it is fully self-authenticating. So you see the beach name, the dates that it's valid for, and the animation that prove it's authenticated. Now we bought 2 beach tags, so you can swipe through those and see each one individually, and that could be good for 2 beachgoers. I also want to point out the passes can't be accessed before or after they're valid. So before your pass is valid, let's say you're buying a pass to go to the beach next week. When you go to your profile, that pass, you wouldn't be able to view it. It would say upcoming, and you wouldn't be able to access it. And then once that date had expired that the pass was valid for, the pass would then be removed from the user's profile. So one feature of our app that we're really proud of is our revolutionary share feature. It took us months of development, revision, and testing to make this what we wanted, and we're really proud of how it turned out. So you can see here in the video that you would choose a pass that you'd like to share. It takes you to a screen to confirm that you're sharing a pass, and you choose a date range for which you're sharing that pass. Then you'd enter the person's email address who you're sharing it with. So once a pass is shared, the purchaser no longer has access to it, only the person it's shared with. And they only have access to it within the window of time that's been specified by the purchaser. Once that window of time expires, the pass automatically reverts back to the original purchaser, and the pass is no longer accessible to the shared person in the shared person's profile. So sharing can be deactivated. It is, again, a customizable feature. And the number of shares can be limited, but this helps make the transition to a digital pass a little bit easier because you can easily share a physical pass. This is a way for you to also share a digital pass. So we also have offline accessibility. If you've purchased a pass and you get to the beach, you open the app and the app recognizes that you do not have internet access. You can enter offline mode where your pass has been cached into your phone. You can still use the animated QR code for easy self-authentication even from 6 feet away. So like I've mentioned, our app is customizable. We do have our base model that's built and ready to go, but there are features that each beach will have that you need individual, you have individual needs. For example, Long Beach told us that they need veteran passes, senior passes. We talked about some ways to address that in our original presentation. And these are all features that we are ready to work with Long Beach on customizing. As far as security goes, we take it very seriously. We have full back-end encryption for enhanced security. Like I mentioned before, we use Stripe as our third-party payment processor. And what that means is when a purchaser buys a beach pass, if you can remember back to that screen where you pay, the cost of the beach pass is one item and then the fee is separate. Those funds are diverted into separate accounts. My Beach Tag fee funds and municipality beach funds never commingle. So we don't touch your funds. They're transferred directly to you from Stripe to your specified operating account. As far as safety goes, we do feel this, and clearly you feel as well, this is the perfect time to adopt a digital model. Our fully digital format means no face-to-face interactions are necessary, nor do you need to use cash ever to pay for a pass, even daily passes. So one of the best things about our app, Carlton's really excited about it, is that it's free. So we do charge users a small fee on a sliding scale, but the municipality pays nothing. So here we just have a short demo video of our app action that we wanted to play for you, and that'll wrap up our presentation. And I don't know if you guys want to ask us questions or not, or if the next, if Beachy Pass wants to present next.
No, why don't we ask some questions if we have them?
Okay.
So I guess I'll start. So we have, you had said in the presentation, you can do resident and non-resident passes. How does the software verify residency?
Yeah, so we talked about this in our original presentation, Kevin, if you want to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, so basically the way that it works is we would have, our proposal would be, I'm getting some feedback here, I'm sorry. We would propose that basically the person purchasing the pass would have to, basically check a box within the app to indicate if they're senior or veteran status. Pursuant to the terms of service of the app, we would then, have something pop up indicating that, okay, you've selected that you're a veteran or you're a senior. You're going to need to provide proof of this at time when you use your pass. And basically we would have some kind of a customized QR code, perhaps a different color QR code or something on the digital pass screen that would indicate that they're a veteran or a senior. And then the person checking the pass would be able to verify whether or not the person is in fact a veteran or a senior. Alternatively, we have the ability to sell physical passes still. And so, that might be another solution that the town would look at to determine if maybe the easier thing to do is to just have those people diverted to the physical passes, because those passes can be verified at the time of purchase, with the driver's license or, a veteran ID card.
I think
Sorry,
Kevin's ears are a little clogged. I don't think you heard the question.
Yeah.
The question was, how do you deal with the resident, non-resident issue? I'm Mike, by the way, and the way that we proposed it, proposal was two ways. And the user profile was, I think we're getting some feedback there, Kevin and Carolina. The user profiles would be designating where they lived. So within the user profile, there'd be a designation of where they lived. And then we would program into whether that area falls within the residence or the non-residents, or you could also just do it on the honor system, which we believe is what you likely have to do with the veterans and the seniors, which is, are you a resident or not? But we think the building in of the boundary line based off of someone asserting their address within their profile is the best way to determine how much a person would pay for their pass.
Okay, so a person could theoretically put in a Long Beach address, but not be a Long Beach resident.
Correct. There could be unscrupulous activity.
Okay.
That's
All right.
where we are in the honor system. The ultimate other way, I don't think we even presented this in our package, and I don't know if this is going to be frowned upon, but you could also do location at the time of purchase, but even then someone could just walk into Long Beach and purchase it and not be at their house. So it's somewhat very difficult to completely eliminate it all. Just like a hard pass, it's an honor system. You could populate an entire beach with 2 passes. One person, goes on, hands it to their buddy, walks off, gets their 2 passes, and so on and so forth. So the way we think it's best is to do it through the address system and then program into the application to limit or to recognize Long Beach addresses as the non-Long Beach addresses.
The other thing I would add to that, and I apologize, my audio is not very good, so perhaps I screwed that last question up. But the same thing as I was saying with the veteran and the senior pass, we could basically require identification at the time of use, and that person would present a driver's license or valid proof of residency for, to justify that they've got a discounted pass, and then the pass would be somehow distinguishable within the app, such as a different color, and it would display that this is a resident pass.
Okay. I just got a couple more then. Is there any limit on the number of categories that could be programmed in? Because we have lots of categories, both in the resident, non-resident, seniors, veterans. We have a lot of different categories. Is there a limit to the number of?
So we thought about this a lot when we were developing the app, and we knew that different towns would have different requirements and different discounts to offer. So there is no limit. And in fact, the app was built in such a way that we've already designed it to be basically adaptable to whatever the town's needs are. So the answer is no, there's no limits, and we can do it relatively easily.
All right. And who currently uses it, the software?
Carolina?
only the most innovative towns. So that's, we are new, so no one yet, but
Okay.
we're fully confident that whoever the first one is will revolutionize beach passes for the rest.
When I want to add to that, the reason is because we're fully digital. We actually are finding towns still use hard passes. Not to say that we don't know how to use the hard pass. Caroline mentioned we do facilitate hard pass purchase, but every town wants to hold on to the old vestige of the hard pass. And I don't know about Beach E-Pass, but I know some of our competitors still require a hard pass transaction through scanning or other ways. And that's why no one wants to go full digital. I think we're on the forefront, and quite frankly, I can't imagine we won't be being used sometime shortly, hopefully by you guys. But we have been around for a couple of years, and we've done a lot of these presentations, but we get the same question. And it usually just comes down to, is the town ready to go full digital? And I think you guys are.
Okay.
Just let me piggyback on that. I would just say that, as you know, we do a lot of, obviously, New Jersey towns. That's most where the beach tags are located. And those towns are not as revolutionary as Long Beach. So I think that's been some of the issue in terms of going to a fully digital format. I think you guys are much more on the cusp than they are. So we appreciate the opportunity to present and to have the possibility.
You're starting a New York, New Jersey rivalry.
One of many.
Yeah. And just last one from me. So the user is charged the fee. Is it a flat fee? Is it a percentage of the amount? How do you do that?
It's a percentage of the amount on a sliding scale.
On a sliding scale. Okay.
Sliding scale, meaning like it could be, it's not hard and fast. So that can be negotiated with the township, if you want to roll it out a certain way to, help the town, help the community adjust to a digital model. Can work on that.
Okay.
It basically goes, it's a percentage, but the percentage goes down as the price goes up. And it's basically done that way because the way that we get charged processing fees, it's a flat fee for each transaction and then a percentage. So the way to kind of cover that is to charge a larger percentage on the lower dollar amount transactions, and then you got obviously much less on the higher dollar transactions.
Okay. Does your fee then incorporate the credit card transaction fee, or that would be on top of?
No, the fee that we charge the user includes the amount of the beach tag that you, or the beach pass that Long Beach would get, covers our transaction fees and gives us a small fee on top of that. So the amount they're paying is the full amount.
Okay.
There's nothing added.
All right, great. That's it for me. I don't want to monopolize, so I'll let the other council members ask their questions. And
This is Mike. I just have one quick question. On your presentation, you had $2.50 with a fee on top of that. And that fee was like 24%.
Yeah, I have to look at the percentages. They're actually attached to our, there's a spreadsheet attached to our bid, our proposal that was submitted. I'd have to check it, but I mean, a $2.50 transaction, I don't think there would be any $2.50 transactions. That was more of just a demonstration, but the percentage is relatively high when there's smaller dollar amounts because, as I said, we get charged a flat fee for each credit card transaction and a percentage.
Yeah.
I have a copy of that spreadsheet, Mike, that I can distribute to the council in the morning.
Yeah, that's kind of important to me, but I don't have
no
another
problem.
skill. Thank you.
And let me
as
just say also that
Caroline mentioned, it's fully negotiable. It's not hard and fast by any means. What it would be hard and fast is the fee that we would be charged, because we don't necessarily want to be doing this gratis. But but outside of that, the fees that we proposed are just the proposal. That's exactly what it is. It's just the proposal.
okay.
I just have a quick question. I'm not sure if you already covered this, and I'm one of the people at the beach who check the passes. I do that from a regular iPhone or from a tablet. No special equipment needed other than something like that.
No, that's correct. The way our app works is, and Carolina mentioned this briefly, but we consider the passes to be self-authenticating. So basically, it's an animated QR code to prevent screenshots. And it also has the dates when the passes are valid displayed on that screen as well. So when somebody presents that to you, you can just visually verify. And also, as she mentioned, you can't even access that screen in the app until the pass is valid. So if I purchase a pass for tomorrow, it will show in the app that I have one for tomorrow, but I won't be able to get to that QR screen until tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, that'll go away unless I bought, a season pass, in which case I would have access to it for a longer period of time. But basically, you can scan it, and the way you scan it is you use the smartphone running our app, and there's a menu function, and you go to scan, and that scanning will then sync with the database in the back end to confirm that that pass is valid. But that's more of a backup than anything, and really the way that the app is designed to work is that you don't necessarily have to scan it. So there literally is no equipment to be used.
But once it is scanned, it's no longer valid. I can't reuse the same. If I have a season pass, I can't use it and then the same one be used again. Once it's scanned, it's dead for that day.
We can work that out. I mean, depending on how Long Beach wants to do it, but the way it's set up as a hard, pass would be set up, it would be that you could use it multiple times because people may leave the beach and they may come back on the same day. They may leave again. They may come back. So just, we're happy to work with Long Beach any way that we can, and we can satisfy whatever requirements, the town has. But, just as a matter of course, the way that the physical tags generally work is you can use them multiple times in the same day.
Yeah, I think the default is 10 scans currently. That can be dropped to 1 and reset the next day. But as Kevin mentioned, if you go off the beach to get something to eat or something to drink, we come from beach towns with boardwalks. You want to be able to get back onto the beach. So we haven't. I don't think it's unlimited, but that scan amount can be reduced.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Karen, Liz, you got any questions? Okay.
Not at this time. Thank you.
I guess if no one else has any questions, I just wanted to pose a question to you folks, and just any really large concern you had with as when we were asked to present. I know we weren't necessarily the recommended vendor, and that's completely understandable. There are competitors out there. I just wanted to get, now that we have the opportunity to address any particular concerns that you have about our application that doesn't necessarily fit the needs that you have. I'm sure Forefront is who uses it. I know that comes across a lot. I think we've answered that already. So any other issues we would love to have the opportunity to speak on.
My guess is I don't know that a public forum with another vendor on deck for us to start going through your particular proposal individually. But it's certainly something that I would be more than happy to discuss with you tomorrow, with all of you, if you'd like to set something up in that regard.
I would love to do that. Should we hook up through email and set something up?
That's fine.
What's your email?
I'm sorry, just if I could cut in on with that for 1 second. Just so you know, my name is Joseph Filippo. I'm Assistant Corporation Counsel for the City of Long Beach. With respect to the RFP process, there's a fair and blind rating system from one company to the next, one competitor to the next. So as far as, the city discussing what some of the shortcomings are, or, what some of the advantages of somebody else are, that actually would constitute collusion. So we can't literally tell you what's wrong and tell you how to correct it and then allow you to resubmit a proposal, because that would be against the law.
Okay, understood. I did notice that in the RFP there was a scaling system, and actually we wanted to make mention one. I don't know if it's still been. This is actually a minority-owned company as well. 2 females own the company. So I appreciate it. And if anybody has anything else, but otherwise, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you as well to everybody. We appreciate the opportunity to kind of come back and do this again. And we hope that we've answered any questions and we can do business with you in the future.
Okay, we really appreciate you guys coming back and
Coming so far from New Jersey. Thank you.
Yeah, we drove very far.
there you go. And Southern Jersey. So, all right, thanks guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, gentlemen. And
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Joe,
All right.
and who's next?
Okay, we have Beach E-Pass. Brian Berkery, I believe, will be kicking off for them. Brian, introduce yourself and your colleagues and enlighten us with your presentation, please.
Very good, Joe. Thank you so much. And we didn't travel that far. That City Hall right there behind me, across from my office. And I just want to let you, the whole City Council, as well as the committee that's been working on this, I know it was an arduous task. It's been months in the making. And as a resident, I appreciate the due diligence because this is a big decision to be made. It's a huge advancement. It's very progressive for the city. So thank you for all your time that you've put in. And thank you for the opportunity to present. Most of you I do know. And for the folks that I don't know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to end the company and I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, everything look good? Joe, you can see that? All right, everybody's good? Okay, so we are, can everybody hear me? We are Beach E-Pass. We are a locally owned company. We are in the city of Long Beach. We are based across from City Hall. And we have a ton of knowledge about the city of Long Beach. We are intimately experienced with what goes on here in the city of Long Beach. And through this presentation, you're going to hear more about all of that, our years of experience, as well as each one of our partners. I'm going to quickly introduce myself, and then I'm going to let Jeff Shapiro, as well as John Hack, are going to tell you a little bit more about themselves. So I am a 20+ year resident of the city of Long Beach, and I've been working for 12 years with a business on the beach in Long Beach. I'm the owner of Beach Comfort, and I employ about 30+ employees from the high school as well as the colleges in the area each summer for the last 12 years. I am also a full service advertising agency, which gives me a very unique ability to help promote this program and to make sure that everybody knows that they can now purchase their beach passes digitally. I have a lot of experience working with events and large crowds, and we do have a unique experience, each one of us. The team that we put together here is really because of the fact that Long Beach is unique, and we can't be every other place but except Long Beach, and we understand the intricacies of what's going on. So Jeff is going to tell you how his experience is going to really bring a lot of value to the program.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you guys, everyone, for your time today. Again, my name's Jeff Shapiro. I have been in town for about 25 years. I beat Brian a little bit. I have 2 kids in the high school, one that graduated the high school and is doing really well over at UMass Lowell right now. And looking forward to a prom and a graduation this year for my middle one. I have experience all over the country doing logistics for major events. I do parking, traffic, and shuttle logistics and crowd control, getting people in and out of events from NASCAR, NCAA, to air shows, you name it. Very unique situations that are not typical. You won't see me at Shea Stadium. You won't see me at Yankee Stadium. It's kind of very unique places that I work. And that experience bringing people on and off the beach is where I'll be able to excel and help in bringing this whole team together of what needs to be done. I've won a few awards for ICAST, International Council of Air Shows, for our unique products and tracking and stuff we've done and the impact we've done to the industry. I'm going to pass this over to you, John, for what you do and how you'll help the city be successful.
Thank you, Jeff. EventSprout was created in 2012. It was actually created from a company that was an event production company. They actually produced one of the largest music festivals in North America, and it was created as EventSprout is a custom software development company that specializes in admissions and access control. So that's a real long way of explaining that we make customized ticketing systems. So that's what we do. We're a boutique type scenario where we come in and we customize 100% of what the process was. When we did the test back on Memorial Day, that was literally created by us, a completely blank sheet. The system didn't exist before that time. I have actually been in the industry of ticketing and access control for now over 18 years. I've assisted some of the largest events on earth. I've done the Indianapolis 500. I've done Oshkosh. We have literally I've done over 4,500 events, and I've actually personally been in attendance at about 500 of those events where we're there maintaining and managing access control and revenue generation. So that's basically it. We've got a full service team. We are all 100% US based. English is our native language. So when you call the customer support line, you are talking to somebody right here in the US. So that's basically what's important for us. And every single one of our systems and what we were trying to do is not be a cookie cutter. 100% of what we do is that we're going to answer your specific requirements basically as close as the technology allows. And that's what's the fun part of it is that we're literally writing the technology. If you can logically write it down, we can code it. So that's what we've been brought in for. Again, I've done a lot of things with the air shows. I'm actually on the executive board of the International Council of Air Shows, and I'm a CFEE, which is a certified festival and event executive through IFEA. So been in the business for a very long time, been there, done that, sold the t-shirts. Back to you, Brian.
Very good. Jeff's going to just take you through this technology, which is he'll explain it's not an app. It's different. So.
Yep. Thank you, Brian. So as we talked about, apps are great. You have to load them on their phone. As you guys know, everyone's nervous about putting the app actually on your phone. Is it tracking you? What is it doing? Apps are starting to die out now, and everyone knows it's something called a web app. And you've all used it every day. You might not understand it, but it's just a simplified app that's on your phone that's done through your browser. So it's not something that resides on your phone, takes up space, and could be tracking or doing anything like that. The ticketing platform is all real time. Everything is done as you do it. It's available on iOS, Apple. You could actually buy it on Windows and then have the ticket put onto your device if you're more comfortable using your phone. Everything is customizable, as John said. We can meet whatever need you would like. We obviously will be presenting to you our suggestions, but we easily can change it and mold it to whatever special needs you would like. How are we going to do information? Obviously, we're going to store some basic information of the user, including their name, email address. Each customer could also set up an account if they want. They do not have to set up an account. So if a one-time user just comes to the beach and they just want to real quickly buy a pass and use it, that is absolutely fine. And we're not going to bog them down with setting up a user ID and all of that stuff. It is optional to them. The system could limit how many beach passes are sold / activated for the day. We could also limit how many are bought for each household. We could write and meet whatever needs you guys could think of. We could pretty much figure out to put onto a computer to meet that need. The big thing is being a resident, knowing what goes on. Brian and I know it very intimately with the cards and how you get on and off the beach. We know your pass is good from about 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You're going to come and go throughout the day. How do you buy it? Right now, you wait in line. Well, the idea of that was, let's get rid of the line. Let's make it more convenient for people to do. But how do you verify someone that is in town? So those residents like us, what's so important to make sure that they have the ability to buy their pass instantly right away? So what we're able to do is we're able to actually take their credit card information and verify it to the credit card bill to ensure that that bill and address is where their credit card is going. So we'll use their city and their zip code to ensure that the credit card is matched there. That would qualify them to buy the resident pass. So it's real simple how it works. You activate the ticket, it gets locked to your phone. Once that ticket is activated, again, it is locked to your phone. So you're really not going to pass your phone around to people to let them on the beach. It's activated again and locked to your phone. But you can buy multiple tickets and you can send them to someone. Those tickets are not date particular, they're season particular. Again, so if I buy a pass today for 3 days from now and it's not nice out, you guys don't have to worry about refunds and all of that. I just wait the next day and I activate it. It's a real simple process to activate it. And we're going to shortly show you what it's like to activate it and how the ticket takers will handle the verification of them.
Okay, John, John's going to just take you through just a little bit of the security back end. I think this might bore some people, but for the folks out there that understand this stuff, it's pretty impressive.
I'll try to make it very, very quick, folks. So realistically, you're looking at 3 different pieces of the security. Once again, Eventsprout and eBeach Pass is literally going to be hosted in AWS. So that's the Amazon Web Services. And we utilize, once again, all of their security protocols. So when you're looking at where is this physically residing? Is it in somebody's basement somewhere? No, it's actually with Amazon, and it is the most secure place on the planet for you to keep your data. What we get to touch, obviously, all of the code, all of the things that we're handling, and all of the customization, all of those types of pieces is handled by a very, very tight and secure group of our development team. It is also at all times overlooked or overwatched by our director of development, who actually sees and touches every single piece of it and approves every single soul who has access to any of this code, because obviously this is a very important part for us to be making sure that we take care of. And then the other part, just like the other folks that you've talked to this evening, we also use Stripe because it is a very, very solid platform for people to be using for their credit card processing. It gives you the PCI level 2 security protocols. And the fun part about this, folks, is that just like they said, that the money never ever commingles, the data does not either. Okay, I don't ever see a credit card number. The credit card number literally never lands in any of our data. Okay, we don't get to collect that. I also therefore can't do anything with that. If I were to ever be issuing a refund, I'm literally issuing that refund through Stripe, because Stripe are the only people who know who that credit card or what that credit card number actually is. I got a code, I got an approval, I send that approval back to them and say, hey, I need to give this money back. Stripe then looks up that person, puts that money back on the card. So I have no access whatsoever to any of your patrons, any of your citizens' credit card numbers. There's no security issue there. So physical security, Amazon, pretty good gig. Inside security, a very tight team that literally all look at each other and see each other. We're all in the same place. We're not in China. We're not in Indonesia. We are really right here in the United States writing code, looking at each other across the hall. And then credit card security, Stripe, bulletproof, literally deep, deep, deep. And once again, a separation of church and state in these powers. So when it comes to system security, we really do. This is very important to us. This is our day job. This is what we do for a living. We're going to make sure that it's an incredibly secure system.
Very good. Thank you so much, John. Now, folks, I'm going to take you through how it works, how you purchase a digital beach pass through Beach ePass. It's a very user-friendly web app platform that is customized for the city of Long Beach. It's easy to use, provides step-by-step instructions, and will walk the customer through the purchase process. Beach Park and city information, as you can see, is all right here, right in front of them. So we can continually give them instructions, information, quick links to keep the process moving and to make sure that everybody enters the beach, knows the rules, and can be able to communicate. You can communicate with them. Everything here is customizable. You have the screen with a nice image of the beach there. That can be changed to whatever we want. And also all of this copy, if we decide to change times or there's any other situation, everything's customizable. Then you get into the selecting of the pass type. We could put any type of pass in here. There's no limit to what we can put in here. The beach pass type will appear in the menu for your selection. The discount passes will require additional information. So if you're buying a resident pass, you'll be required to put the city and the zip code in, which your credit card will then confirm that that's correct. And that is going to be a way for us to verify a resident versus a non-resident. When you're making the payment, this screen probably looks very familiar to all of you. It's a standard way to put your information in. I know my phone already has it pre-populated. So I could just click on stuff and it's already pre-populated. I usually just have to put the security code in there. And it's the same thing. It's a secure platform, which John was just explaining. And we could accept any types of credit cards that are available in debit cards. You get to a purchase confirmation. After you click the previous screen, you'll get a purchase confirmation page which will provide clear view of the purchase that you just made, the totals. And this screen can also be customized to give messages to the people purchasing the tickets for future or whatever it might be. They can give updates. Then you get to the screen where you can activate the pass. Now you could either activate the pass by clicking to go to activate your passes, or you could choose to activate it at a later date. What Jeff was saying earlier, the tickets don't have, the beach passes do not have dates on them. It's just a beach pass. And you could activate it on whatever day that you want to go. So if you bought it for Saturday and it's not a nice day on Saturday, you use it on Sunday. As long as you use it before the end of the season, 6 o'clock on Labor Day. After that, every pass that's not used expires the same way your regular passes expire now. There's also during beach hours, every single day there's beach hours. So Memorial Day till the end of June is going to be weekends. They'll be available, but they'll also be available during the week because people will probably most likely be buying passes for the upcoming week. But throughout the season, customer service, live customer service is available for not only customers, but also the city. If there's, even though we will be around to call us directly, you could still call the customer service if you wanted to. So here is where we have a active pass verification. This is where I think that things are so clear to look at. And, I think Jeff or John alluded to the fact that we created this. I presented this idea to the city of Long Beach about 3 years ago. And the administration just wasn't ready. And then last year we were trying to discuss it again, but there was just too much going on. But what I did is I had John create this for me, and I started using it on the beach to try to break it, to try to figure out what works best. And I can tell you that it worked seamlessly every single time I was on the beach. But the passes are color coded. So if you look at the first blue screen, that's the initial screen you get when you activate your pass. When you get up to the ticket taker, you could be at a distance from them, and the time is actually ticking. So they can clearly see that it's that date that they're actually there for. It's the time is actually ticking, so they know it's an active pass. But even if that wasn't good enough, the ticket taker could ask the customer to just tap the screen. Once they tap the screen, it changes color completely into a different color. So the middle one you're looking at right here is what it looks like if they tapped on that same screen. If you tap it on again, it goes back to blue. So this is a way to avoid screenshots. And if you could create some kind of a video that actually ticks down and changes color, I'll give you a lot of credit for that, but it's going to be almost impossible. And then you look at the ticket all the way to the right, which I don't think I have to explain. 6 o'clock, it flips red, and we already know it's not good. The next day they try to show it to them, it's no good. They can see it from a mile away that it's a red pass. Like I said, everything's going to deactivate, or not deactivate, but be expired at 6 o'clock. And similar to all the other beach passes. Our system is also integratable with a scanning device that will track and provide real-time totals for each visitor entering the beach at a specific location. And we could also include it on not only these digital passes, but the plastic passes. So we could do it on both. So that would mean if there were scanners being used, if the city chose to use scanners this year, we could scan anything, these passes as well as the plastic passes, because that will then give you a much better idea of who is on that beach. Because if we just scan these right now, we're only going to know the digital passes on the beach, but we could also create the system that it's a custom system that integrates and tells us how many plastic passes are on the beach as well. I think Jeff is going to take you through how to prevent discount digital passes from purchasing unqualified visitors.
Absolutely. We've all touched on this a little bit. I just want to circle back and make sure you guys understand how we think about making sure the residents that are the taxpayers are getting the correct ticket, how the veterans are getting the right ticket, and how the seniors are getting the right ticket. So we talked about the residents. We will use their credit card information to verify their city and their zip code and make sure it matches the credit card statement, and then they would be offered a resident pass. It could be the daily pass, season pass or the family pass, whatever you guys choose. That's how we're going to allow them to move to the step to purchase those special tickets. If we're talking about a senior ticket, again, they will go in, put in their information, put in their age. When they go up to the ticket taker will do the same thing they're doing now. Say, hey, that's that orange ticket, that's a senior, and they look like they're 12 years old. And they could challenge them, be like, that doesn't look like the right ticket. Now, our last choice is the veteran ticket. How do we take care of the veterans? We obviously have the backup, the same thing as a senior, that we will have the red, white, and blue logo, as you see, for a veteran. Very patriotic, very clear. You let the ticket taker know that that is a veteran. We could thank him for their service. We could verify to ask them for some identifications. And there is a roundabout way, there is a large cost involved, but there is a master database to be able to check their numbers. It can be done. It's definitely costly to be done, but it can be done if it's something you guys would be interested in doing. It's something we could talk about the pricing and how we integrate that into the system. But I think this right here would be very good for the ticket takers. They could clearly ask the patron if they're not sure for some identification, or ask them if they're a veteran or something like that.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff. So processing and financial information. So the digital ticketing will be provided by EventSprout's proprietary platform, which we've gone into very details about that. The credit card payments through Stripe. The City of Long Beach will receive payments from Stripe next business day after digital tickets are purchased, and the city will be paid the full face value of the ticket. And I'm going to get the next couple of slides. It's going to get a little bit more detailed in that. Each Beach Pass purchase will incur a convenience fee, which the customer pays. This fee varies based on the ticket type and price. A convenience fee covers the City of Long Beach, the credit card processing, the program services, and also a donation to support our Long Beach High School DECA program, our business program. As a resident, Jeff is going to tell you about this a little bit more. He's intimately involved in it. I've actually been a recipient of some of their stuff that they've done. It's a great program to help our students as they grow up, and Jeff will get into more of that in just a moment. We will have full communication with the controller's office, and they have the controller's office, or whoever is responsible on that end will have access to the back end reporting for Stripe, the processing, as well as EventSprout ticketing system. As well as, obviously, if the city requests an audit at any time, we will provide whatever information or whatever documents that are being requested. So this list right here is just showing you a snapshot of all of the different custom platform features that are included in our service, and or what device and come up with the fees, with the convenience fee. So this is just a long list of all of the different things that we said throughout this presentation that are included. Here's just a quick breakdown of the way that a current pass is happening right now. So in the City of Long Beach right now, when you buy a daily non-resident beach pass for $15, the city charges $15. And if the city gets a 2.5% credit card processing, you're paying 38 cents for that. And then you most likely have a 30-cent transaction fee, which brings the city $14.32. That's approximate. I really don't know the numbers, but I'm just estimating based on some history. Through Beach ePass's custom platform, the daily non-resident beach pass would be $16.99. It would be $15 plus the $1.99 convenience charge. And I know that every single person on this call has paid a convenience charge. They're paying convenience charges all the time. And $1.99 on a $15 purchase is absolutely within range of what people are accustomed to paying for something like that. So if you have a $16.99 customer pays, 44 cents of that, if we're processing it through Stripe, our rate is 2.9%. That equates to 44 cents. Transaction fee is 30 cents. We have 10 cents going to Long Beach High School DECA business program. And we also have $1.15 for operations, customer service, and marketing. Our operations are customer service and our marketing. So customer service is the customer service hotline. Nobody at the city has to be taking any calls. The marketing is to promote the program. We're not going to have a program if we don't promote it. We can tell everybody once they get here that they can buy digital beach passes, but we want the whole world to know. So we're going to take our own money and put into marketing campaigns to let people know that we have digital passes now, and this is the best way to get on the beach. From our operations standpoint, we're talking about training. We are here. City Hall is right there, and I live right over there, and Jeff lives over there. And we will have a team that is going to help train your staff on hand, physically here. I am going to be here all summer long. I am here, and I've always been here all summer. So these operations is an on the ground, feet on the ground, actually helping you folks run this program. So if you look at that number, the city of Long Beach will get the whole $15 right back to them. This increases the revenue of the city on just a non-resident daily beach pass by 4.5% at the end of the year. If you start doing calculations of the 4 million passes that you're selling, and this is the one way that we can start helping you guys make more money, the numbers start to be pretty impressive. So as we go on, I want Jeff to just take us through the training program. This is, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, thank you very much, Brian. So training, as you guys heard earlier, I do logistics all over the country. We bring small teams around and we train people from all over the country, volunteer groups, paid groups, you name it. All we do is train people how to deal with crowds, how to provide customer service, how to make people happy, particularly never lie about an answer if you don't know it. Refer them to someone that does know it. So training is what I do. And we'll be working with your ticket takers on a daily, weekly, monthly, pre-season to ensure that they're providing high-level customer service, understand how the program works, how to handle some simple features if someone's having a challenge. And at the end of the day, provide them with the customer service phone number. So if they can't reach myself or Brian on the beach, or they can't find one of our people that are just floating around, helping people get off the beach, promoting the product, they'll have that toll-free number to call that'll be there at any time the beach is open to help them get through the product or to help a customer to get through the product. But the product is only as good as the staff that's out there, and that's only as good as the training that we could give them.
Very good. Now, John's going to tell you a little bit about our customer service.
So once again, quickly, customer service is one of the biggest differentiators in any system, especially as the modern world becomes. You're going to find out that more and more of your communication is not really with a human being, or more and more of your communication is not with somebody who is even in this country. And so that's one of the big differences in the company here that we're very, very proud. All of our customer service people are once again here in the United States. Basically, to tell you the truth, they are based in Chicago, but it is one of those things that you're going to be talking to a real live human being who speaks English as their native language. And it is a real live human being on the phone that you have. You still have all of your other features. You're going to have, for those people who like to text for support, God bless them. Thank you very much. That is so much easier. And then people who want to reach out through any of their other, if they want to go through social media, yes, we're now monitoring all of that stuff too, because again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our day job. Okay. We do millions and millions of tickets. And so what we certainly have understood is that we have the ability to see, find what that person's, and this is not our first rodeo. We have literally understood that you're going to have people who are having trouble understanding the process. Just to be funny, back when I first started this back in 2003, we had somebody who called our customer support line buying a ticket online. They wanted to know where to put the money. You know, so we literally had to, you have to walk people through this. So that is the team that we have that does this all day for a living, and they understand to be courteous, polite, prompt. I'm not going to stay on the top phone for 10 minutes trying to walk. You know, we're going to get you your ticket. That's our job, is to get you your ticket quickly and politely and let you get to the beach, because that's what you really wanted to do.
Very good. So another question that comes up sometimes, and being on the beach all the time, I understand this, it could be some challenges with internet connection, but there's a handful of things that make things a lot better and as they're improving. The first thing is educating the customers about during the marketing, during the registration, all of those fields that you saw, all that information about how to tell people how to use the program or how to use the beach and what the rules are. we're going to encourage people to activate their passes before they get to the beach. You know, when they get off the train, activate your pass. You get up in the morning, you're packing all your stuff, you're getting ready, just activate the passes. Then we know you're coming, number one. And number two, it's already activated and it's sitting in your browser. So also with the 5G cell service starting to expand, I've been actually on a few meetings with talking about 5G over the last couple of months, and it is expanding and things are getting a lot better and being able to allow this service to be in this area. And also the training. Again, Jeff just talked about training. We're going to train the staff on how to encourage people and how to inform people how to use the system and how to make sure that it's in their browser. And once you get on the beach, I did this all summer. Once you get on the beach and it's activated, as long as you don't completely turn off your phone, undo everything, close everything out, your ticket will continue to sit there. And there is also abilities on some of their phones to move that pass into their ticket wallet, which is on your phone that you hold on to within that. So there's a lot of ways to combat this. And we don't think that there's going to be many issues because of all of these different reasons that they're able to utilize the system. Okay.
Let's talk about some of the benefits. Again, there is no cost to Long Beach at all, 0 cost at all. Along with Long Beach should see about a 4.5% increase from your non-resident daily passes. The money is available the next banking day. So if you took money today, you will have it tomorrow as soon as it's cleared. We have the opportunity to do free messages and advertising opportunities within the app. Abilities to make some more money by finding local vendors that want to offer coupons on tickets and sponsorships. We could add that. We can integrate into the LIRR beach getaway ticket. So someone hops on the LIRR, they could get their ticket and their electronic pass. They don't have to have their paper. They don't have to go exchanging anymore. That will save you guys some money for handling people doing the exchanges. We could add ability to add donations. So if there's a group like the Polar Bear Swim that wants to sponsor a weekend, or if you guys want them, we could offer donations for the Polar Bear Swim for that particular weekend to help them raise some stuff. Again, increased revenue by offering a convenience fee. They can very easily not take the option of electronics, walk up, wait in line, and buy it. This is a convenience fee that we've all paid. I'm sure everyone's paid it either once or twice today in something they've bought to not wait in line. It allows you to reduce the people, reduce the visitors on multiple passes coming to the beach. Gives you a good, strong inventory, along with if we do have a COVID restriction, we could stop activations for the day. On top of all those great things for you, how can we make it better for the customer? The more time they have, the better time they have, the more they're going to come back, the more money they're going to spend at our local restaurants and food purveyors. We could reduce their close contact with their visitors. It's going to be really good. It's the ease of the beach pass without waiting in line. It works out really, really nicely. This is progressive. It's fast. It'll be a great way to get those new people to the beach, and we'll be keeping everyone safe that have to take tickets that come and often on the beach, and we could still have a season. Brian, back to you.
Yep. Okay, folks. And Donna, I'm so sorry you lost your bet that we just blew past 7:30. So I think that we got the bulk of all of our proposal across. I just wanted, Jeff, if you could just take 30 seconds to just tell them about your relationship with DECA and why we think it's important that through a program like this, we can give back to the community and to the kids.
You got it. So all my kids have gone through DECA in the business program at Long Beach. They've learned so much about real life stuff. DECA is a national organization for business. They learn how to take interviews, negotiate, and do all of that stuff. This opportunity to bring the high school students and give them opportunities to do internships and to learn about the real life going on of customer service and marketing and all of that would be absolutely wonderful. And then we could help support our local community so people can get to DECA and they can continue the great work they're doing in the high school.
Very good. Thank you guys for your time. I'm sorry it took as long as it did, but clearly the three of us like to chat, and sorry we kept you so long. So please, any questions you have, we are ready and eager to answer.
I just have one question. The 10 cents, I know it's just 10 cents, but can that be removed if need be?
Absolutely. We're here for our wish list in the sense of the things that mean a lot to us, and we understand at the end of the day that someone is paying for that. And if we think that that's just a little too much, then we come up with another way to do it. Or
It's not too much, but the city cannot go on record saying they're giving money to a certain area, and that was agreed upon within the city. And so that could bring a lot of attention, especially since we sell so many non-resident tickets, and residents will also could come back to say, even though it's 10 cents, we pay taxes.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. There's another way to do it too. Within if the city was to approve it, within the different, when you go to buy tickets, like we were talking about the polar bears, and if there's a charitable organization within purchasing tickets, kind of like when you're at the supermarket, would you like to donate the 50 cents of your change to this organization? We could actually put it in that section, so we leave it up to the customer. It's not something that's happening on its own. It's something, would you like to donate to DECA? Yes or no. If you do, great. If you don't, you don't. So absolutely, that's some, we're putting our wish list out there to you folks right now.
All right, thank you very much.
You got it.
Brian, during the presentation, I think you said it can track which beach people go on when it's scanned. What ability does the software have to run reports? So in other words, if we wanted to get demographic data, like when people were coming on the beach and where they were coming on the beach and things like that, does this have the ability to run reports so we could slice and dice data?
Absolutely. Yes. One of the most important parts here always in our world is people want to know what happened. Okay, so you're going to have literally all of the pieces of information. So your name, email, mailing address, phone number, how many passes did they buy, when did they buy their passes, when did they activate their passes. So literally all of that information is available to the city. You don't even have to ask any of us. Okay, now you can also set up with us that, gee, I would like to have a report every Monday morning to show what happened over the weekend. You tell us, again, if you can write it down, and I want it sent automatically to these 5 email addresses. Okay, first thing Monday morning, boom, it lands there. They don't even have to ask for it. But at the same time, just for a wild hair, you wanted to know exactly how many people used this promotion code over the past 2 days, and it was something that you just wanted to know that one time. You have the ability to go into the system, okay, and ask for just that specific exact information, and you get to see all of it. And it's going to be, once again, it's in charts, but it's also in real life hard numbers, okay, so that you can actually see it. Once we get down to the 2nd and 3rd year, hopefully, realistically, you're also going to have year over year. So you're going to be able to see, how are we doing compared to this day last year? Are we above or are we behind? And it's right there in front of you on a real simple graph that you can actually hover over and see the real numbers. That answer your question?
It does.
Okay, good.
It does. Thank you. And I got just one more. So we got you were talking about, for example, to verify residency, it ties back to the credit card address. We got, like many beach communities, we have a lot of snowbirds that spend half their year here, half their year elsewhere. For people that are in that kind of situation where their credit card might be tied, let's say, to a Florida address, but they do live here half the year, we typically give them the resident pass. Is there, how would that be handled?
You do have there's probably 3 answers. Okay, again, I would, and that's the 3 that I think of because I've seen it in a lot of different ways. But again, if you guys have something that I don't know about, right, and it's logical, you can write it down, and it doesn't include, do they have a blue car? Because I can't see that online or anything else like that. But what we normally end up working with is that address verification based on, and the reason why we use the credit card is that you can't fake that. You can't use the wrong, okay? We're going to bust them. Their credit card won't go through if you use the wrong information. Right. The second one, realistically, is that if you wanted to have a way that someone like a snowbird that's coming in and they don't have any credit card that they have with that information, if you guys want to issue, and this is, you can see where I'm going, you want to issue somebody or give me the password, so to speak, for your snowbirds, and I give those snowbirds that ability. Now, I'm really preferring that this is a big difference. This is a huge price difference. This isn't like $2 off of $100 pass. So you don't want to give you something that's going to be publicized on Facebook one day and there goes your whole, pricing structure. I normally would like for you to send someone, or I can send to you, okay, a list of passcodes, all right? And they will work one time. All right, and so you have a snowbird who comes up and they want to do that and they validate, okay, but we're not, again, my call center doesn't have a good way of listening to that person say, look, I'm looking at my driver's license and I know, or this is the apartment complex that we live in, or this is the house that we're renting. It would at that point have to be handled by somebody who can validate it and give them a code. Okay, so that's why the city part, I mean, if we can get it down to just those people who come, who don't have any credit cards in Long Beach, but they live at Long Beach during beach season, then let's try to find out. And if you guys have a system that you think of that will work better, if you can write it down logically, I can do it.
There is one, John, you've mentioned this to me a couple of times, just so you guys know. He's always said electric bills, water bills, tax bills. If there was a unique number for a resident and that is available to share, he could identify a particular house or unit through that way, and then you don't have to send out tax codes. So I understand what you're saying. A snowbird has their driver's license, credit cards, everything in another state, but they actually own the house here. So they don't even have a driver's license. They probably walk up to a ticket taker and bring their mortgage statement or electric bill or something like that, and they show someone that physically. They still have the option to buy the ticket. We're not telling you guys you can't buy a physical ticket. You can still use them. We can still track them. But down the road, if you want to try to get rid of that, they could come up and you could give them a code. Or if there is a unique identifier for each property, and that's available for John to have, they could use that unique identifier, like section, block, house, something, and he could use that. Whatever way you could write it down, and you could identify a particular house to make it easier and seamless for the customer, we could come up with.
I mean, the big difference, folks, is this is literally custom code. Okay, I am not, and normally my conversations, I am not Ticketmaster, where you have to bend your world around what I've already written. None of this existed, okay, before Memorial Day. All right, and I can double over again what we've done since then in 2 weeks.
Okay. I guess just one more then before I move on. Obviously, you use this for your air shows and other lots of other events, and I get it. Tickets are tickets, whether the event is. I'm just curious. Would we be the first beach to use this if we were to use it?
I believe you would be, especially in this format. Now, I have done beach access for individual events. We have done beach festivals. Right. We have done beach air shows. But yes, for what you've asked me to do, that's what was so cool when I saw what you guys were wanting to do. The whole idea of a ticket that doesn't require a scanner at all, ever. No more do I have to worry about sunscreen in the buttons or sand down in there or a kid taking it and putting it in his pocket and taking it home. All of those worries literally evaporated from my head with the whole idea of, hey, is there a way that you can make the ticket do this? And oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So that was, and I didn't think this stuff up. We just write it, so it really is. And same thing as you guys, what we normally try to explain to folks is that once you get on board and you understand that we're not fibbing, we literally write this stuff for you. I'm not trying for 400,000 clients. I want
the important part to hear is that all of the ticketing is all entry points and people. That's the important part. We have entry points and we have people entering in that given area. So that's really the bulk of all of the experience with other programs. So
okay.
But I know we've blew past the time, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sure all your husbands, wives, and family are all mad at us. And Donna, whatever bet you lost with the commissioner, I will pay half of that, I guess. I feel so horrible. But is there any more questions? We really do appreciate all your time, folks. We do.
Donna, didn't we bet the first 2 years free for the app? Wasn't that what we bet?
It's free
Wait,
to you
it's free
forever.
already. We told you there's no cost. The app is free to you guys.
Very good. Very good.
I'm gonna have
So,
one quick question for you, if I may. Once a beach pass for a certain day is expired, will the resident or non-resident, the person who purchased it, will they be able to have any demonstration or proof that on such and such day, at such and such time, that they activated this pass? And the reason why I ask is because what I'm thinking of as the city's prosecutor is there are times when people might say, oh, I had a pass, but my phone died. Is there a way for them to then show me or show the city, the court, that, okay, yes, I had a pass on this day and my phone died, but look, this receipt demonstrates that on, July 1st at 2:00, I had a pass and it was activated.
So yes, remember what the way I think this was set up and designed is that you purchase a pass, and we don't know when you're planning on using it, as long as you're planning on using it kind of in this season. I mean, if you guys wanted to make it go for next year too, doesn't bother me, but you bought a pass. And if at any time, so we certainly understand that you have that. I have that report instantly. You paid for one. Now, I will also have a telltale that you activated your pass. All right. And remember, you can activate that pass any day this season. But the day you activate it is the day you're saying you're coming. Okay. And once again, in case you are in a COVID restriction that today only 100,000 people, that's really, really easy for us to fly by the seat of our pants and go, today it's 100, tomorrow it's 95 or 105 or whatever you want to do. So it is when that person literally activates their pass that they told us they're coming. All right. And at that point, someone who says that, hey, I'm doing this and my phone died. Yes, you have a paper trail out the wazoo. Okay. We know you purchased it and we know you activated it. All right. And so that's pretty simple for us to get through. Sorry, long answer for yes.
No, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Any other council members have any questions? All right.
Time, thank you.
Seeing none. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate your
very
time.
much.
very good.
Interesting
Thank you, guys.
presentation.
Appreciate the opportunity, guys. See you around soon.
All
Brian,
right.
Jeff and John, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, Ina, you're
All
up.
right.
Hello, good evening. Okay, so finally, Dave, if you could please do me a huge favor and share the first slide.
Which file name is it? I don't have it listed.
It is called, it's called Beach Season, 2020 Beach Season Pass.
2020 season pass.
2020 Season Pass.
Okay. Stand by. There you are.
Okay. So, I hope that everybody can see that slide and what that represents. I'll try to quickly now go through what I have to present. So this pertains to summer of 2020, right? Just few concepts here. This is not fiscal year. That's for summer, right? One summer encompasses in 2 fiscal years, and one fiscal year has parts of 2 different summers, right? So fiscal year 2020 has July and August of 2019 and May and June of 2020. This is not fiscal 2020, this is summer 2020. It shows sales for each category of beach passes that we sell. And it compares, the schedule compares the total of total in tickets of and dollars for parts of summer of 2020. That's the top portion of this presentation, to the total of summer 2019 for the comparative data and parts of the summer. I can probably start with going through the bottom of that slide, which shows the total of summer 2020. That's the third row from the bottom. Summer of 2019 and the variance between two seasons. As you could see, going all the way to the right, for the summer 2019, we made about $4,367,000 in revenue by selling almost $204,000 passes, right? All categories of different passes. Then in summer of 2020, we sold a little bit more than 3 million worth of the passes in dollars, and it was 111,000 passes. So you see that the variance, the negative variance from 19 to 20 was about $1.3 million, of which that variance is split into 2 years. July and August of 2020 is actually this fiscal year, 2021. That's the year that we live in. And impact on this fiscal year that's about to end June 30th to 2021 is about $853,000. So I'm going one column more to the left, right? It's the second column from the right. And in May and June, it was fiscal 2020, the year that was closed, and impact on that fiscal year was $475,000, $476,000 almost. So I'm sure that it's pretty obvious why we had limited access to the beach for the reasons of pandemic, and it impacted our sales. So that's about this slide. I'd be happy to answer any questions on this one before I'm going to move to the next one.
Ina, this is Liz. I just have a quick question regarding, because I know in parentheses is bad guys and not is the good guys. Maybe Mr. McNally can answer this. So is that gap available for any of those care funds? Have we put in for that? Because that's our primary source of revenue. I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it sort of does.
I'll let John take it.
So all I would say is, care funds were not. So there's care funds and then there's.
John, you're coming in really crappy.
Yeah, John, you're breaking up bad.
Do I still sound like an Ewok?
Yes.
Yes. If you could just get back to me, that question's on my mind. That's all. Go ahead.
Sure. I mean, the shortest I can do is CARES Act was not for local government.
John, I don't think that your audio is really working.
Liz, we'll try to get on.
Not for local government. Okay. Thank you, John. Okay, Ina, sorry, thank you.
Okay, so any other questions?
Just one. The variance, that 1.329 million, would that in a typical year line up with what we probably would have sold in non-resident passes? I mean, can we basically assume or map to that number that it's probably predominantly due to the fact that we weren't letting non-residents on the beach for most of the summer?
That's basically the reason.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just want to confirm that's where the bulk of that variance is coming from.
Non-resident dailies and Long Island Railroad exchanges.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that.
Yeah, you'll see on the next screen, John, it's about 136,000 in total non-residents, but you'll see the difference.
Okay. If no more questions, I will then ask Dave to please share the next slide, and it's called 3/18/2021 BP revenue and expenses. So what this slide, and I hope that everybody can see the slide well, what this slide does, it marries revenues and expenses. Obviously, to have and upkeep this beautiful beaches, we have to spend some money, right? So now this is per fiscal year. So if previous slide was for summer of 2020, now we transition to fiscal years because that's how we keep our finances, right? July 1st through June 30th. And this analysis goes for it presents actual 2018, 19, and 20 results of operations for the beach park, as well as projections for fiscal year 2021 and preliminary budget for 2022. So going through the beach revenue, it's combined into four categories, one of which is a beach comfort. That's the rental revenue we receive from the company that provides chairs and umbrellas on the beach. Then we sell, Dave also sells some passes at the city clerk's office. As Joe mentioned, there was used to be Long Island Railroad a source of revenue, and for Long Island Railroad Exchange, and majority comes from the sales that are done at the gazebo, at the trailers, at other points of sales. So you could see that in 2018 and 2019, which were, I'd say, normal years. By normal, I mean the years that were not impacted by COVID, sales were at about $4.3 million. Then there is a major dip in 2020 of $3.9 million. That corresponds to this $400,000, 400 and a change that I presented at on a previous slide, right, for May and June of 2020. Then projection for 2021, it is even lower. It's about $3.5 million because the July and August of this fiscal year, first 2 months of this fiscal year, last 2 months of summer 2020, as you saw, were very seriously impacted by COVID. So for 2022, I'm making a very optimistic assumption here, saying we might be able to get to the levels of 2019 sales. And I really hope that for sake of many things other than the beach pass revenue at the city, we will get back to normal, and that will cause us to get back to this $4.3 million. Now, on the expenses side that you see, it's the second part of this on the bottom of this slide, you see the 4 categories of expenses. So obviously, to run the beaches, we need to have lifeguards. There is a line called Beach Park. So Beach Park, it's really what Joe Brand and his team are doing. It's the people that sell tickets, people that check passes, ambassadors on the beach, and everyone who actually makes the beach happen. Then we have a beach maintenance department. Beach maintenance department is a department that maintains, makes sure that everything is in a shape that it needs to be at the beach, right? The beaches are clean, and the dunes and the sands and under the boardwalk and over the boardwalk, that's their job. And they probably start working on a beach, I would say, around April, end of April, mid-April, and that goes on through, I'd say, end of October, right? So to us, beach is just, beach season is when it's sunny and nice and warm, but in order to open the beach and in order to close the beach, you need time. And then we have special officers. Those are the people that they are in charge of law and order in that area. So this shows the total, the total for each one of those categories, and the total for each one of the years. I'd just like to point out one thing, that this includes fringe benefits. Fringe benefits are budgeted separately in one place for all the departments. So in order to come up to the true cost of, let's say, running a lifeguards department, I had to take their salaries and apply fringe benefits that we pay for they're all part-timers. So the fringe benefits that we apply to the that we provide to the part-timers, we calculate that rate on an annual basis. That's the same rate that we use when we apply for the reimbursement for various federal grants, and that's about 35%, roughly. So why it's so high for the part-timers at 35%? Because our part-timers are eligible for the pension plans. They're also, obviously, it's FICA and MTA tax, as well as the workers' comp. So it comes up to that percentage. Same thing with the beach park. Also, it's only part-time employees there. Same thing. They applied those rates. For the beach maintenance, you have both full-time part-time employees and also overtime. So there, I had to differentiate between those categories. You don't see it here. I didn't want to bore you with that, but there is the backup and support, because the variance between the full-time employees' fringe benefits, their overtime benefits, and the part-time benefits is quite drastic. And then special officers are only part-timers. So they're, you could see that 2022 preliminary budget for in expense categories is higher than 2021 projection or 2020 actual, and that's the factor of city trying to bring the minimum wage that we're paying to our city part-time employees up. There are a lot of people that work in any which one of those 4 departments that make less than $12 an hour. And our aspiration is to bring it up to 12. And then there are some that make between 12 and 14.50. And again, our aspiration is to bring it to 14.50. Minimum New York State wage for Long Island and Westchester region for 2021 is $15 an hour. It's worthwhile to mention that that's as of December 31st, 2021, right? So that will only impact fiscal 2022 for half a year. It's also worthwhile to mention that the city is not bound by this minimum wage. It's just city is trying to do, and this administration is trying to do the right thing by the people who work hard and happen to work in the part-time positions. For fiscal year 2022, for the
You know, I wanna-
full-timers,
I want to stop you right there for a moment. It is important to note that we are trying to raise the wages. We know that we saw last summer that the city had been paying some people $5 an hour, some people $7 an hour. And so you all had asked us to start bringing the wages up. So what Ina is showing you is that we are starting to bring the wages up to a reasonable wage and still trying to do the best we can, even though the city does not have to pay minimum wage. But there were workers making $5 an hour.
okay, thank you, Donna. I'm not sure if I mentioned it already or not, but for fiscal 2022, the full-time salaries were based on on the numbers projected based on contractual increases in CSA agreements. So as you could see, the bottom line, expenses over revenue, city had tolerated and experienced somewhat of losses on these operations of about $315,000 in 18 and 19. In 2020, the actual loss is about $1.3 million. In 2021, that's this fiscal year that we're in, if we're not going to do anything about the fees for those beach passes, it's going to be as high as $1.7 million. And again, if nothing's going to be done, but revenues are going to be a little better in 2022, back to 19 levels, that expense over revenue amount will be at about $1.3 million. And I would stop here and ask you if you have any questions on this slide.
So the assumption, the $4.3 million assumption on 2022 is going back to a 2019 baseline. But that's also predicated on the assumption that the state's going to let us go back to full capacity on the beach this summer, which we don't know for sure yet if they're going to let us do that. So for budgeting purposes, unless we get something from the state on that before our budget is due, we may have to err on the side of conservatism. Otherwise, we're going to way overestimate revenues and leave us a big hole in the 2022 budget.
I agree, and that's why it says on the slide that this is a very optimistic scenario.
Right.
It's in bold letters. Again,
And I guess the other thing, and I guess I'm kind of stating the obvious here, but to my knowledge, this is the first time the city has ever done a detailed business analysis of beach operations. I mean, we keep hearing touting that the beach is the city's cash cow. And what we just learned here is that we are taking a bath financially on our cash cow. We're actually losing a lot of money on our beach, the way with the current fee structure and the way it's being operated, which is a very valuable piece of data I don't think we've ever had before.
That's the first one I did.
Well, I've never seen one. And I mean, even before I was on the council, I've been looking at budgets for the city for a long time, and I have never seen something like this done.
Yeah. So it's definitely, if you were to look at it as a profit center, it's not a profit center as of now.
No, it's we're losing money on it, and we've been.
Yeah. We're subsidizing it heavily. I mean, this one, when we're looking at it, another way to look at it is this $315,000, $1.3 million, $1.7 million. it has to come from somewhere. We don't print money, right? So where does it come from? It either comes from the other revenue sources, and the major revenue source is property taxes. We're not talking about it today, right? Or if we had some sort of a healthy fund balance, right, that we would be able to dip into during this trying times, we could have said, okay, whatever, we can use a little bit of it, but we don't have anything. Last year, the last audit, we ended up with a little less than $300,000 in our fund balance. So we're talking about $1.7 million of expenses over revenue here.
Well, the other thing too, I guess it's worth noting, because I'm sure someone's thinking it, because it popped into my head too. The expenses side of this, there's not really a lot of stuff that can be cut there. I mean, we're mandated by the state with how many lifeguards we have to have, so we can't do much about that. The beach park, short of we stop picking up trash and cleaning the beach every day, that's not going to change. We have to have ticket takers to check the beach passes, and as well as we need to help with the specials. There's not much to trim here if we wanted to try to do that. Short of just saying we're shutting beaches down and getting rid of the lifeguards on those beaches, which is just not a practical solution.
No. And as far as managing and as far as keeping track of the lifeguards, the hours and the dollars, once summer starts and they start working, bi-weekly, I communicate with Chief, and we go over the numbers, and he does actually an excellent job at trying to stay within the budget. And yeah.
Well, not only that, but the liability issue, not having lifeguards. First of all, there's regulations, but you have to have lifeguards. The liability that would create for the city would be far worse than what we're looking at right now, too.
Ina, is this the final slide?
This is not the final slide.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. I started so late. This is not. If you don't have any more questions on this one, I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. Dave, so if you don't mind, please, yes. So there are two ways, right, to make up the revenues. As President Banda said, not much we can do about the expenses. So to make this gaps disappear, we can increase revenue. There are two ways to increase revenue and something like that. We either increase prices or we increase sales. And what this one does, it's a hypothetical analysis. It's really not presented here for you to choose between scenario 1 and scenario 2, but more like for as a start discussion and to show you what raising beach passes fees would make, but in scenario 2 and scenario 1, what would it do to the bottom line? That being said, I just want to say one thing, that I believe that the beach passes fees were not raised since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Dave, that's what I was able to surmise from all the documents that I reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, this one again, that this schedule shows the historical and revenue scenarios for summer 2021 and projected fiscal 2022 impact. It has all the categories of the tickets that we sell on the column on the right. The second column shows number of tickets sold in this category. The third column in green, first column in green from the left, shows the price per ticket, the current level of the prices. And The fourth one shows the total revenue in fiscal year 2019. That's $4.3 million.
So Ina, on this, you've taken the 2019 actual tickets sold per
Yes.
category, per category,
Yes.
and then you've made an assumption multiplying that number by either price increase scenario 1 or price increase scenario 2.
Absolutely accurate. Yes.
'Cause you did what I just did, and we'll talk. Yeah, good.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to get to this slide.
But I just also want to say that this is per summer now. This is not a fiscal year. That's per summer. That's how our beach park, they keep track of it. So that's for, and that's why you have two, that's why you have two parts to it. The last two columns to the right, they show projected fiscal 2022 impact, and then the column 4 and 5 from the right, those columns show projected fiscal year 2021 impact. So basically, right now, for example, the resident individual pass is $50, and if we were to raise it to $75, this would bring another $13,000 to almost $14,000 to the city's treasury. If we were to raise it to $85, that would bring another $19,495 to the city treasury. That's in this fiscal year that we're in. So that would help us to bridge that gap, right? If for the resident family, if we were to raise it from $70 that it is right now to $110, that would bring us $702,800. And with the scenario 2, it would go at $120. It would give us another $878,500. So you see the same kind of math on a non-resident, in the non-resident portion. And if we were again to go, let's say with scenario 2, going from $50 and $70 for residents to $85 and $120, and for non-residents going from $100 and $140 to $150, I'm sorry, to $170 and $240, that would give us another $1,061,000 this
So
fiscal year.
Ina, you left the non-resident daily sold rate fixed at 15 under this assumption, correct?
This is just an assumption. Again, these are just scenarios. We can raise it, right? But then this is a very elastic revenue. So we have to think of what will it do to the overall revenue. We obviously don't want to raise it to the levels where the sales will drop and overall revenue will drop together with it.
But the biggest percentage category by either non-resident, resident is by far the non-resident as the single biggest volume of tickets sold of 136,540.
Yes.
So keeping that rate static, you get a bigger bang for your buck by increasing that, even $1, correct?
I don't know. That's something to consider, but again, something that needs to be very carefully analyzed, and this is outside of the scope of the analysis that I did in this slide.
Understood. My personal perspective is that the resident portion, since they pay for the beach through their taxes, the increase should be greater percentage-wise to the non-resident than the resident.
So I don't know the exact law that where it stays, so we can make sure that our city corporate council points us to the exact application of it, but we can only charge non-residents no more than 2 times of what we charge the residents.
Okay,
So we cannot go higher than 2 times. Then if we were to raise, the resident daily, we can potentially, we now charge $12, right, for the resident for the daily
Right.
ticket. So we can raise it to $24, but will that impact the number of people who are coming? I don't know. Again, it's outside of the scope of this analysis.
well, there'll probably be some, the percentage increase in dollars may exceed a drop in the actual purchasing, but I think the whole picture of this presentation is beach revenue hasn't been looked at like this analysis, and this is incredibly great presentation, numbers wise, that to me, rates have to change. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the cost of running the beach has increased every year every year, and we haven't changed any rate structures in 5 years.
Just for the record, I'm looking up that law right now,
Okay.
Because I'll do my quick analysis and send it to you tomorrow based upon what I see. But
Thank you.
So
This was extremely helpful because, like John Bendo said, this is a good tool for everybody to understand. Even the residents realizing that, their question would be, well, how do you know all the expense side of the beach maintenance is actually, used to run the beach park? It's a seasonal business. Are these people that actually work on the beach, non-lifeguards and non-ticket takers, actually, allocated to the beach and not partially to the beach?
Yeah, actually, we did our due diligence and we went a lot, like employee by employee in the beach maintenance department. And with Tommy Connor, I went like employee by employee, and he was able to determine the percentage of their salaries that pertains just to the beach maintenance.
Just to the beach during that period. Okay, great. You're way ahead of me, Ina.
No.
Yes.
I had a little bit help from John Bendo there. I have to give him a little bit of a credit.
No, it's amazing that this is, on my perspective, looking that you actually have breakdowns of, and this goes to the whole team, by the way, of the actual individual categories by total. And at least I could come up with and I know everybody can come up with a reasonable proposal, because I think from my perspective, something needs to change to make up for that loss of revenue.
I wanted to add one more thing. And Joe Brand, are you still online?
Of course I am, Ina.
Joe, how many days are there in this upcoming summer of 2021?
82.
Okay.
So just to give this some perspective, I've been working my calculator on my phone. If we were to go, let's just say hypothetically, if we were to actually talk about changing fees and went to scenario 2 for a resident family, and based on a family of 4, because you get up to 4 passes and 82 days. So for a daily pass, a resident pays $12. A non-resident pays $15 for a daily pass. But for a family resident pass, even in scenario 2, for a family of 4, it comes out to 36 cents per day.
Correct.
Per person.
Correct.
So somebody's only paying 36 cents per day to get on the beach. I mean, I guess I never did that math, but that gives some interesting perspective.
John, the quick math that I did, and I have to evaluate my numbers before I submit them. I come up with a total of 4.8 million in revenue, assuming taking 2019 ticket sales, these numbers in volume multiplied by a rate that is not here, that I just did quickly. I'll check it, but that's somewhere in this medium. We need to exceed 4,360,000, whatever that number was in the cost, the lifeguards, the beach park, the beach maintenance, increasing the minimum wage to those, provided, you know, the city management's recommendation, to at least approach a break even.
Yeah, and I just did real quick too for an individual, a resident individual. Again, even if you went to scenario 2, it comes out to $1.03 a day.
Yeah.
To access the beach.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what entertainment you can get elsewhere for $1.03 for a full day.
And
Yeah.
there was always an assumption out there, because that the beach park was raked in so much money. There was such a moneymaker, and this really shows.
Well, that's been the narrative as long as I've been around,
Yeah.
is that the beach is the big money maker for the city.
Right.
And I think we just found out
It's not.
it's not as it only not, but the city's losing money every summer on the beach.
Right.
So there is one more thing, if I may add to that. What you see in that revenues and expenses presentation is just the direct costs. Those are the costs that are can be directly allocated and are directly charged to those departments that have direct involvement with the beach. But part of what I do, right? Part of my salary, part of Donna's salary, part of police overall, our debt service, there is much more to it. So which you actually don't see here. So that's what we call overhead, right? It's not even here. The true comprehensive cost of running the beach would be higher.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Eva. If each department was allocated a certain percentage towards, even if it's July and August, every allocation, debt service, much higher. You're right.
So basically what we're finding out is that all the ramping up we do in services in the summer, the ramp up in revenue is less than the ramp up in services.
Correct. Yeah.
On a cost basis.
Yep.
We spend more to have the summer than we take in by having the summer.
Right.
So just so I'm get this straight, so we've been subsidizing parking, we've been subsidizing the beach. Anything else that we're not doing right?
We have to leave something for April and May meetings. Keep it interesting.
Liz,
I'm sorry. I just want to say, Ina, that, and to your team, and again, to the administration staff, that this is, I think we're both kind of just blown away by these numbers and the fact that the narrative has not been what we've been believing for all these years. So I think that we just are taking that in, and that's why there's so much silence.
Well, it's probably the first time a true, like I said, a business analysis has been done on this stuff.
Exactly, John. Totally agree with you. Ina, you definitely.
Thank you. It's like you said, it's the whole team. I have to thank Donna for supporting all of this, because it really does not happen by itself. It's the whole team.
Thank you, Ina. It is the whole team. And what's important that everybody realizes is that you charged Ina and I to give you a good budget. And we want everyone to understand, not only the council, but the residents to understand what goes into that budget and where the numbers come from. And so now we're drilling down and showing This is actually what you spend money on. We started with parking. We started with parking. We're working on other things so people can see exactly where all the money in the city is going. I've been preaching transparency, and we can put these slides up on the web page so that people can see them and ask questions if they choose. But thank you, Ina. This has been a great job, and we will be moving forward on to other things so we can be exciting during in April and May when we do our budget presentation.
Okay. We got anything else or? All right. Anybody else got any questions about this or?
I'll just share with everybody. I want to just run these numbers and then I'll send it out just so everybody, not these numbers, another scenario that I'd like to work up. And share.
Oh, you'll send it to us?
Yeah, tonight
okay.
or tomorrow, you know?
Okay. All right. So scenario 3.
No, not scenario 3, just another option
Okay.
on rate structure, that's all.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I guess this is starting to explain things. But I guess, yeah, it's time to open up our eyes and take our head out of the sand, so to speak. All right. Anybody got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Seeing that, so much for the 7:30, Donna. You're the over/under crowd, the over one. So, all right. Thanks everyone for
Thank you, Joe.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Ina, Joe, thank you very much. A lot of information tonight. A lot of good information. Well, information. I don't know if I'd say all of it was
It's
stuff we wanted to find out, but a lot of good information. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Be
Everyone
safe.
have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Travel safely. Tomorrow it's supposed to snow.